Real quick question, just things to get a little bit of insight into you. Your favorite sports team?
Chicago Bears.
Ooh. College sports you played?
Football, and I guess volleyball too.
Kidding, you were a college volleyball player.
Just for a year.
Okay. How many years did you start as quarterback?
2.
Wow. Okay. Your record as a quarterback in college?
Ooh. As the starting quarterback, let's see, 18-3.
You're kidding. Wow. That is great. I thought you were kind of being a little antsy because it was flipped, but...
No, I was just trying to add up all the wins.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, favorite music?
Favorite music? I guess country music.
Really?
Yeah, my wife introduced it to me in college. I didn't like it before then, but now it's what I have on my radio when I go home and come to work.
Wow, I wouldn't have known that. Now, I know that Nancy and you are a little bit of homebodies. I mean, it's when you're out among people a lot, like both of you are. I think Nancy, maybe a little more than you from what I've picked up, likes to kind of curl up and be at home there. But what's your idea of a great date outside of the home, when you two go out somewhere and do whatever?
Yikes.
Uh-oh, I'm putting him on the spot. I don't know how much the guy actually takes his bride out. Of course, Don't ask Janet this question, please, but what do you enjoy doing?
Well, I mean, a nice night out to dinner. We're not picky eaters, so I mean, you could pick any place. One thing that we haven't been able to do recently is go to the theater and see a movie. But no matter what we do, a great date also has to finish with a visit to some ice cream place.
Yes, yes. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And I personally am rejoicing today because I'm with our new shepherd of school, Jacob Koehler. And what I want to do, Jake, today is talk to you a little bit, just give the folks at Holy Cross some things about you. For example, I'm going to start with this. There have been people who have asked, Jacob Koehler, why take him out of teaching into this shepherd of school, into an ordained position? What's going on here? And by the way, people who also kind of know you as sort of a traditional Sunday morning, hold the hymnal kind of guy. Your background, though, when we interviewed him, I found out he actually had played in a praise band at one point. So Jake, enlighten us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey that has brought you to this point today, including that praise band. Now, did you have like shoulder length hair when you did that?
No, I've never had shoulder length hair, but yes, I did participate in a couple praise bands actually. I was involved, my mother got me involved with our contemporary worship service at my home congregation in Belvidere, Illinois, and I just served as a singer. And then when I went to high school at Rockford Lutheran in Illinois, I also served as a singer in that praise band too, helping lead worship for the high school community there.
Your folks, I know that your dad started out in parochial education, your mom as well?
Yep.
And apparently that must be genetically passed, although we know, and your position shows this, it's passed by people who reinforce that in the home. I'm sure you grew up in a home where Christian education was valued, and that probably led into your initial call to be a teacher.
Absolutely. I am very blessed to be able to say that I've never at any point in my life not been in a Lutheran school, either as a professional or as a student. It's something that my parents highly valued, and seeing them model what it is to be a Lutheran school teacher is something that definitely rubbed off on me, and why I wanted to choose to pursue being a professional church worker.
I don't know if you know the story behind how you got on our list, and I don't know how many people in our Holy Cross community know this. But you know how they say that great minds think alike? There was a day, and I forget what month it was, when we were beginning to gather candidates for this. And my wife said to me, she said, have you ever considered Jacob Koehler? He would be a great candidate. And honestly, I kind of went, wow. And believe it or not, within a week of that, Dennis Goff, Pastor Dennis Goff said the same thing. As I heard about this, I thought of Jacob Koehler. And me, I'm always the last guy on the bus when it comes to great ideas. So when my wife and Pastor Goff, two people I respect and love a great deal, when they said that, I thought, wow, that would be kind of neat. And I think that's when I strolled into your pristine athletic director office one day. You ought to see his athletic director office. But anyway, I strolled in there one day and I just kind of laid it out to you. What did you think initially when I talked to you about the possibility of doing that?
Well, to be honest, when Pastor came to one of our teacher-faculty meetings and informed the staff that this is what we were going to pursue, and I read the job description, I thought to myself, sounds like something I might be interested in. But being a German Lutheran as I am, I wasn't going to go and say, hey, pick me, pick me. It was because of Pastor's visit to my office, which allowed me to start seriously considering it. And I'm very glad that you did.
That kind of reminds me of an old phrase our former district president, Dan May, said to me once. The call should seek the man or woman, and not the person seek the call. So that really played out in this particular situation. Mm-hmm. People did ask, though, why did we choose you? And you're a combination of a number of wonderful traits. You have a great heart for the Lord and a desire to follow Him and to make His word and the person of Jesus Christ made known to people. Also, you have a remarkable skill. Dale Carnegie, the motivational author and speaker, once said, the sweetest sound to the human ear is what?
Music?
Close. The sound of a person's name. And I'll tell you what, Jake knows the name of every single student in our school and most of their families as well. How in the world do you do that? I can scarcely remember where I live some days.
I don't know. I just think it's one of the gifts that God gave me. And it goes back a couple years to high school. I do believe that by the time I was a senior in high school, I was graduating at a high school that was around 400 students. And I think at that time I could probably say I knew the name of every person in the building, because I think names matter, knowing who people are matter, and I don't think you can start a relationship with somebody if you don't know their name.
Yeah. And every one of those students in that school has a unique story, a unique path, and as shepherd of the school, you'll have the privilege of touching their lives in very special ways. By the way, the question has been asked of me, why Jake Koehler going to the St. Louis Seminary when we have a seminary? I think we're the closest Missouri Synod congregation in Fort Wayne to Concordia Theological Seminary here in Fort Wayne. I'm a graduate of there. Pastor Newbacher was a graduate of there. Pastor Marino was a graduate of there. Pastor Cook, who helps out, was a graduate of there. I think you're beginning to realize why I wanted to mix it up a little bit and have Jake go to our other seminary, our seminary in St. Louis, Missouri. How do you feel about when you could just go across the street almost, that you're heading off to St. Louis? And you and I will have a week in August there together. It'll be online then, but your professors are 400 miles away rather than 400 yards or whatever it is away. How do you feel about entering the program at St. Louis?
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I'm most excited to go to St. Louis so that we can spend 14 hours in a car together there and back. No, but certainly not what I was intending, but I'm looking forward to it in that it's kind of a heritage thing for me. Both my grandfathers were pastors, and both of my uncles are pastors, and they graduated from Concordia Seminary, St. Louis. So I'm kind of looking forward to being able to add my name to that list of people in my family who have done so. And just because I won't be studying currently at Concordia Theological Seminary doesn't mean that I won't study there eventually someday. As a pastor, I think you must be a lifelong learner. And certainly at the completion of these 4 years in this program, there's going to be plenty that I still have yet to learn. And it doesn't mean I can't do that right here in Fort Wayne. But for the time being, we're going to start in St. Louis. I think the only thing that I'm hesitant about St. Louis is their colors are green and gold. And that disgusts me.
We'll make sure this isn't beamed over to Missouri, okay? They may be a little shaky on that. Although you do have a green tie on today.
Well, yeah, but notice it's green and white.
All right.
I'll wear green as long as it's Holy Cross, but gold, yikes.
People have said of you, and they said this for several years, and I've told you, I think before, I don't like this expression when I hear it from people. It's like, oh, Jake is so good, he ought to be a pastor. Because I think we need, and we do have, by God's grace at Holy Cross and in other schools here in this Fort Wayne area, we've got wonderful, dedicated people who serve in a Christian school. So, you're moving from being a teacher to being a pastor, but each is equally important and valued in God's economy of how He conveys the message of salvation in Jesus Christ. That being said, what are you looking forward to about making this shift? And maybe at the same hand, what are you apprehensive about as you think of moving from being a teacher to becoming a pastor?
One of the things that really initiated the conversation in my own head was the pandemic. And beginning in March of last year and through to May, when we were learning and teaching remotely, I didn't really have much to do as a physical education teacher. I mean, I tried some things, but I also recognized that we needed to make sure that the students were learning, their social studies and their science and their math. So I was, that deep longing for wanting to teach theology and wanting to teach about the faith just kept coming up again and again. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Jake, I know your passion for coaching. You love to see students develop. You get into the game. It's a great thing. Shepherd of school, it kind of pulls you a little bit away from that passion, doesn't it? Or does it? How do you think there's any melding of those of your love for sports and coaching and being a shepherd of the school, being a pastor to the school?
I will always have an interest in athletics, and I will always have a passion for coaching. I do recognize that at least for the next 4 years in my life, I will have to take some sort of a step back from doing that because I need to commit myself to my studies. But specifically regarding the sport of football, which I played and I've coached ever since I've been here, I'd like to be involved with it as much as possible. And basketball too, I've coached ever since I've been here. But quite frankly, I love all the sports. And even if I can't be serving in a coaching role, I look forward to, at very minimum, attending and watching the kids. One of the things that I think I've been battling with some of our students these days is sometimes I believe more in their abilities than what they do. And just to see them have trial and error and see them have challenges and for them to be able to overcome them is just one of the most satisfying things as a coach or a spectator. And one of the great things about sports is that it teaches you a lot about life. And I hope to be able to be present for our students in those things, but not just in athletic things, but a wide variety of activities, because I'm not just a sports guy.
Right. And that's, I've learned over the years in fundraising capacity, first at Lutheran High School system, then at Concordia University, Ann Arbor, that sports can really, it's not out here somewhere. It can tie right in with the Christian faith. I mean, you learn things about sacrificing for someone else, for others, working for a superordinate higher goal. And you got kids at their most vulnerable moments. What is it? The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Absolutely. It's all there, and their hearts are so open then to, and I love the way you said it, you see things in them that they may not even see in themselves. And golly, that's, those kind of mentors in my life have meant the difference to me. Jake, I've enjoyed this conversation. It's a little bit artificial. We're sitting in front of a camera, but we've had these similar conversations in the privacy of my office or yours. And I really look forward to how we're going to grow together and how your ministry and your encouragement of my ministry is going to impact this body of believers here so we can, and it's sometimes we say it so much it sounds like a cliche, but it's so true, how we might equip and send each other to make the Christ-like difference in the world. So God bless you, my parishioner, my friend, my colleague, and now my pastoral colleague. So look forward to the journey.